Anish, bonjour à tous. Jagdish Joypal, bonjour.
Bonjour Nawaz, auditeurs et internautes, bonjour.
Donc, bienvenue dans cette édition spéciale consacrée à la rentrée parlementaire. Nous sommes élus et retrouve le chemin de l'hémicycle après 3 mois de pause. Jagdish, la majorité gouvernementale requinquée après le verdict du Privy Council hier.
Certainement donc un verdict très favorable qui requinque la majorité gouvernementale, surtout le Premier ministre sous élection validée donc officiellement par le Conseil privé. Et là, nous constatons qu'entre vacances parlementaires et la rentrée, finira un mini remaniement ministériel, également finira la nomination de PPS. Et donc, les deux nouveaux ministres, c'est Dorine Jacouri et Anji Ramdani qui retrouvent eux parmi l'équipe ministérielle, certainement partir de ce matin. Reste Ivan Kolendavelou de Mouvement Libérateur qui toujours siège comme député backbencher. Alors, cette séance, c'est la tradition parlementaire pour la reprise basée au modèle Westminster. Donc, nous vous constatons certainement l'offensive de l'opposition et également la riposte du gouvernement, comment ça a été, et avec un référé, l'arbitre, c'est le speaker de l'Assemblée qui les besoins et n'a. Donc, maintenir l'équilibre et également et pas faire preuve de partisanerie ou de parti pris. Voilà donc, et là, nous pouvons démarrer avec la PNQ.
La private notice question du leader de l'opposition axée pour cette rentrée parlementaire sur le dossier Agalega.
C'est la deuxième private notice question que Xavier Duval peut poser au Premier ministre, donc depuis et après un an. D'ailleurs, nous rappelle qu'il le 26 juillet 2022, déjà, Diman Premier ministre révèle un petit peu le coût des travaux qui sont en cours à Agalega. Et là, aujourd'hui, il demande le coût annuel pour l'entretien, exploitation, installation, également fonctionnement, donc et surtout le besoin en personnel, nombre de personnes, d'employés qui pour besoin, que ce soit citoyens mauriciens ou expatriés. Donc, la date à partir de quand vol commercial vers Agalega pour commencer. Et nous vous rappelle Nawaz qui Premier ministre a déjà révélé l'Inde finance totalité les travaux pour un montant de 8,5 milliards de roupies. Il révèle ça dans la première PNQ qu'ils avaient dû poser le 26 juillet 2022. C'est une construction de la piste d'atterrissage, un GT, et également aménagement les autres infrastructures, comme un hangar, un tunnel. Mais Xavier Duval fait mention de possibilités qui certains avions et donc un avion militaire ou bien transporteur de missiles pour poser à Agalega. Et Xavier Duval a même montré une photo pour dire qu'il y a un hangar en construction pour abriter ce avion militaire là. Mais le Premier ministre à aucun moment fin confirmé jusqu'à l'air, ni le gouvernement mauricien qui est une installation en base. Mais par contre, la presse internationale régulièrement peut faire état de construction en base indienne, c'est-à-dire par le gouvernement indien sur l'île de Agalega.
Et la séance pour sans doute démarrer avec hommage à ex-parlementaire qui finit décédé, notamment l'ancien ministre Prem Kunju et l'ancien PPS Reza Isaac.
Oui, c'est une tradition parlementaire également quand donc à chaque fois il y a un député qui est décédé, donc le Premier ministre, le leader of the House rend hommage à sa contribution, à sa participation dans les travaux parlementaires, également et présente sympathie à la famille. Et le leader de l'opposition, là aujourd'hui Xavier Duval, pour bien associer lui avec le Premier ministre, donc pour un hommage à la famille des 3 défunts mentionnés, donc anciens parlementaires. Et nous constatons également sur l'ordre du jour, après PNQ, il y a 17 questions qui adressées au Premier ministre. Et il y a autant de questions, environ une soixantaine adressées à le ministre. Et là, c'est une question qui intéresse le grand public, toute la population pendant les vacances parlementaires. Donc, une question d'intérêt public, par exemple, le Sagos, négociation avec l'Angleterre et concernant la souveraineté de Maurice sur Diego Garcia, Agalega, s'il y a une visite et un député d'y programmer, surtout dans les Sagos, c'est surtout un député de la circonscription numéro 3 de pour lui. La question de trafic de la drogue, Pérévini et l'enquête de la police qui, d'après certains députés de l'opposition, c'est une enquête mal faite. Alors, il y a une demande pour révéler quel est le nombre d'enquêtes qui pas fini bien ficelées. Et donc, les autres questions concernent allocation contrat par le Central Electricity Board, contrat directeur général de la CWA. Encore une fois, c'est une question de Rajesh Bhagwan. Et évidemment, le prix des produits pétroliers.
Et hier, Ramavaladen fin adresse Senlit au leader de la House, Pravin Jagnat, et également au leader de l'opposition pour demander qui observe une minute de silence. Je ne sais pas si ça peut être accepté. Minute de silence en hommage au peuple palestinien qui peut...
Et c'est-à-dire expulsion même, nous sommes capables de dire de tout un peuple, 1 million de personnes, mais les Ramavalaiden peut attirer l'attention donc sur la condition humaine, sur le sort des Palestiniens donc contre Israël.
Voilà donc un applaudissement qu'il nous peut trouver pour Pravin Jagnat, sans doute après sa victoire au Privy Council. Donc une opération tape la table de la part de 20 députés pour célébrer à cette manière cette victoire
et cette
au Privy
reprise
Council
de l'Assemblée, surtout cette victoire au Privy Council, parce que c'est une question qui nous retenait l'attention pendant 4 ans. C'est-à-dire avant il y a devant le conseil privé, Finena, la plainte, donc la pétition électorale de Surendayal devant la Cour suprême.
Et tout ça, sans doute, fin organisé d'avance parce que le Parlement TV diffuse les images avant l'entrée du speaker, donc pour permettre à un téléspectateur trouve sa opération tabla.
Oui.
Donc tout ça, c'est fait sans doute d'une opération bien organisée. Et voilà le speaker maintenant qui peut faire sur l'entrée au sein de l'hémicycle.
Nous pouvons suivre
La séance va démarrer.
Les relations surtout entre l'opposition, le speaker et la majorité gouvernementale.
Election of the Deputy Chairperson of Committees.
Mr. Speaker, sir, in accordance with the provisions of paragraph 7A of Standing Order 7 of the Standing Orders and Rules of the National Assembly, I move that the Honourable Third Member for Constituency Number 12, Mayberg and Planmayor, Mr. Dulab, be elected Deputy Chairperson of Committees.
The proposal seconded? Seconded. Is there any counter proposal? Honourable members, there being no counter proposal, I declare the Honourable Third Member for Constituency Number 12, Mayberg and Planmayor, Mr. Dulab, to be elected as Deputy Chairperson of Committees of the Assembly, and I offer him my sincere congratulations.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm privileged and honoured to have been elected to serve the Assembly as Deputy Chairperson of Committees. I assure this august Assembly that I will, at all times, faithfully discharge the responsibilities bestowed upon me to the best of my abilities. I avail myself this opportunity to thank the Prime Minister and Leader of the House for the trust he has placed in me. Thank you for your attention.
announcements.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it is with deep regret that we have learned of the demise of two former members of Parliament, Mr. Ahmed Reza Ghulam Mahmoud Ishaq, on Wednesday, 26th of July, at the age of 69, and Mr. Premdat Kunju, GOSK, on Thursday, 12th of October, at the age of 79. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Ahmed Reza Ghulam Mahmoud Ishaq, commonly known as Mr. Reza Ishaq, was born in Port Louis on 11th of June 1954. He pursued his studies at St. Mary's College, and in 1972, while still being a student, Mr. Reza Ishaq joined the Star newspaper as journalist. In 1974, after his secondary education, he joined Bourgeoisie College as teacher, where he taught French, English, and sociology, a post he held along with the journalism profession. In 1984, he became the chief editor of the Star newspaper and was thereafter promoted to the post of director. Mr. Speaker, sir, regarding his political career, in 2000, Mr. Reza Ishaq stood as candidate for the general election in constituency number 2, Port Louis South and Port Louis Central, under the banner of the l'Alliance Parti Travailliste PMXD, but was not returned. In 2001, Mr. Reza Ishaq ran for the municipal council elections under the banner of Alliance Parti Travailliste PMSD MR, and was returned to serve the City Council of Port Louis as municipal councillor. In 2005, he contested the general election in constituency number 2, Port Louis South and Port Louis Central, under the banner of l'Alliance Sociale, and was returned as second member. In the same year, he also ran for the municipal council elections and was returned. On 7th of October 2005, Mr. Reza Ishaq became Lord Mayor, a position he held until 23rd November 2007. He continued to serve as councillor till 23rd October 2008. In the same year, Mr. Reza Ishaq was appointed Parliamentary Private Secretary. In 2010, Mr. Reza Ishaq ran for the general election for last time under the banner of the l'Alliance Parti Travailliste PMSD MSM in constituency number 19 Stanley and Rosil, but was not returned. However, he secured a seat under the best loser system to serve the National Assembly. On 18th August 2011, Mr. Reza Ishaq was appointed Parliamentary Private Secretary, post from which he resigned in June 2013. In May 2014, Mr. Reza Ishaq was again appointed Parliamentary Private Secretary. Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Reza Ishaq also founded the Star Secretarial School and the African Institute for Professional Training in QPIP. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I request you to kindly direct the acting clerk to convey the deep condolences of the Assembly to the spouse and the children of Mr. Reza Ishaq and to the close members of his family.
Mr. Speaker, one thing I'd like to clear first. Is this now optional? Or are we still meant to use it?
Read the obituary.
No, I'm just asking first.
Read the obituary first.
What about this?
Read the obituary.
Okay. Mr. Speaker,
Respect.
I of course associate myself with the tribute made by the Honourable Prime Minister to late Mr. Reza Ishaq, former Parliamentary Private Secretary, former Lord Mayor, and talented journalist. I also associate myself with the tribute made by the Prime Minister to late Mr. Prem Kumju, former Minister. I wish to inform the House...
No, it's for Reza.
Oh, you haven't done Kunju yet? Okay, all right. Okay, sorry. I therefore, Mr. Speaker, kindly request you to direct the acting clerk to convey our condolences to his wife and children.
Second obituary.
The clerk,
Honorable members, I associate myself with the tribute paid to the memory of the late Mr. Ahmed Reza Ghulam Mahmoud Isaac, former Member of Parliament, by the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, and I direct the acting clerk to convey the deep condolences of the Assembly to the bereaved family.
Mr. Speaker, sir, Mr. Premdat Kunju, GOSK, was born on 31st July 1944 in Fondisac. Mr. Kunju pursued his secondary education at the Northern College in Plaine des Papayes. In 1962, Mr. Kunju started his career in the educational sector as secondary school teacher at the International College in Triolet. Thereafter, in 1964, Mr. Kunju joined the then Ministry of Education as primary school teacher, a post he held up to 1969. He then proceeded to India for his tertiary studies at the Delhi University. In 1972, he graduated with a BA Honours degree in economics, following which he undertook a postgraduate course, and in 1974, he was awarded a Master of Arts in Economics. In January 1976, Mr. Kunju joined St. Mary's College as teacher in economics, a post he held till June 1976, when he joined the public service as administrative officer at the Ministry of External Affairs and Tourism. In 1977, he resumed his teaching profession and became the head of department in economics. He taught economics at New Eton College in Rosehill from 1977 to 1982, and at Imperial College in Cupid from 1986 to 1991. Mr. Speaker, sir, regarding his political career, in 1976, Mr. Kunju contested the general election in constituency number 5, Pamplemousses and Triolet, under the banner of the Mouvement Militant Mauricien, but was not returned. In 1982, he ran for the general election in constituency number 5, Pamplemousses and Triolet, under the banner of l'Alliance MMM-PSM, and was returned as second member. He was appointed Minister of Local Government. In 1983, Mr. Kunju ran for the general election for the same constituency under the banner of the Mouvement Militant Mauricien, but was not returned. In 1987, he contested the general election in constituency number 14, Savane and Black River, under the banner of l'Union MMM-MTD-FTS, but was not returned. Mr. Speaker, sir, in 1991, Mr. Kunju contested the general election in constituency number 5, Pamplemousses and Triolet, under the banner of l'Alliance MSM-MMM, and was returned as third member. He was subsequently appointed Parliamentary Private Secretary, and in 1993, Mr. Kunju was appointed Minister of Local Government. In 1995, he contested the general election in his usual constituency under the banner of Alliance MSM-RMM, but was not returned. In 2000, Mr. Kunju contested the general election in constituency number 9, Flac and Bonaccueil, under the banner of l'Alliance MSM-MMM. He was returned as third member and was appointed Minister of Cooperatives. In 2002, Mr. Kunju was entrusted the responsibility of Minister of Cooperatives and Handicraft. Thereafter, Minister of Commerce and Cooperatives. And in 2005, Minister of Small Enterprises, Cooperatives, Handicraft, and the Informal Sector. In 2005, Mr. Kunju ran for the general election in constituency number 9, Flac and Bonaccueil, under the banner of Alliance MSM-MMM, but was not returned. In 2014, Mr. Kunju contested the general election in constituency number 11, Vieux Grand Pau and Rosebel, under the banner of l'Alliance Les Peuples, and was returned as third member. He was appointed Minister of Ocean Economy, Marine Resources, Fisheries, Shipping, and Outer Islands. In January 2017, following reconstitution of the cabinet, Mr. Kunju was appointed Minister of Ocean Economy, Marine Resources, Fisheries, and Shipping, a post he held till November 2019. Mr. Speaker, sir, in 2022, Mr. Kunju was conferred the title of Grand Officer of the Order of the Star and Key of the Indian Ocean for his significant contribution in the political field. Mr. Speaker, sir, with the demise of Mr. Kunju, affectionately known as by Prem, my party and the country has lost one of its prominent political figures and a loyal and dedicated servant. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I request you to kindly direct the acting clerk to convey the deep condolences of the Assembly to the spouse and the children of Mr. Premdat Kunju, GOSK, and to the close members of the family.
Mr. Speaker, may I associate myself with the tribute made by the Honourable Prime Minister to late Mr. Prem Kunju, former Minister and prominent and well-appreciated politician. May I also request you to direct the acting clerk to convey our condolences to his family. In particular, our thoughts are with Honourable Minister Kalpana Kunju, who is our fellow parliamentarian. I wish to inform the House, Mr. Speaker, that the opposition will be removing all parliamentary questions addressed to the Honourable Minister today in view of her bereavement. Thank you.
Honourable members, I associate myself with the tribute paid to the memory of late Mr. Premdat Kunju, GOSK, former Member of Parliament, by the Honourable Prime Minister and the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, and I direct the acting clerk to convey the deep condolences of the Assembly to their bereaved family.
Papers have been laid. Questions?
Come back to this issue of the mask. Is that now an optional for us to wear masks?
You don't mind if I reply later?
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, my questions are addressed to the Honourable Prime Minister. Whether in regard to the construction works at North Island, Agalega, and in view of the forthcoming inauguration of the facilities in December, he will state, firstly, the estimated annual cost of maintenance, operation, and functioning of these facilities. 2, staff requirement in terms of Mauritian citizens and expatriates. And 3, dates on which the commercial flights are expected to start.
Monsieur le Président, tout d'abord, laissez-moi remercier le chef de l'opposition pour la private notice question qu'il m'a adressée ce matin, étant donné que je demeure toujours le député de la circonscription numéro 8, quartier militaire Imoca, démocratiquement élu et avec le soutien des députés de l'Alliance mauricienne, je suis toujours le Premier ministre de la République de Maurice. N'en déplaise à certains. Hier, Monsieur le Président, la vérité a triomphé le mensonge. la démocratie est sortie renforcée avec le jugement du Conseil privé du roi. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will reply to this private notice question together with parliamentary question B1139 as they relate to the same subject matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I have stated on several occasions in this House, the agreement signed with the Government of India on the infrastructural projects in Agalega is intended only for the implementation of measures to promote, protect, and safeguard our maritime security needs in the following areas, among others: surveillance and monitoring of our vast EEZ of 2.3 million square kilometers, counter-piracy, counter-terrorism, and counter-narcotics and human trafficking, controlling poaching and illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, provision of hydrographic services, promoting economic development, including blue economic initiatives, emergency response, including search and rescue, marine pollution response, and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief activities. The infrastructural development projects currently underway on the island will also go a long way towards improving the standard of living of our Agalean brothers and sisters, as it will generate significant economic activities on the island. I seize this opportunity to once again gratefully acknowledge the precious support and assistance that the government of the Republic of India has constantly been extending to Mauritius. I would refer the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to my reply to Parliamentary Question B810 at the sitting of the 27th of June 2023, where I inform that there are two main projects that are currently being implemented on the island of Agalega, namely the construction of a new airstrip and a new jetty. These projects are being executed by Afghans Limited and are being entirely financed by the Government of India. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed that civil works for both the new runway and the new jetty have already been completed. Works in connection with the associated infrastructure for the airstrip and the jetty are ongoing and are nearing completion and expected to be operational by December 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, in this context, a provision to the tune of 250 million rupees has been made in the 2023-2024 budget for the acquisition of two tugs to enable the MV Trokecha to berth at the new jetty. I indicated in my speech on the appropriation 2023-2024 bill that the two main infrastructural development projects for improving sea and air connectivity to Agalega, that is the airstrip and the jetty, will be operational at the end of this year. I also underlined that these infrastructural developments will broaden the scope of economic activities of Agalega and thus improve the standard of living of its inhabitants. Mr. Speaker, sir, over and above the two main projects, there are 6 other small-scale, people-oriented developmental projects that are being implemented in Agalega. These projects relate primarily to socio-economic development, particularly creation of infrastructure in community development sectors and livelihood activities, amongst others. For these projects, the Government of India has extended a grant assistance of 169,572,867 rupees, Indian rupees. The 6 projects are a library with computers and IT infrastructure on the North Island, a larger shop for sale of items on the North Island, 2 kiosks at both alighting points on North and South Island, an office cum administrative quarters on the South Island, a fish landing station on the North Island, and a community cum multipurpose hall at North Island. All these projects are expected to be completed by the end of November 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am further informed that there are 2 other projects being implemented by the Outer Islands Development Corporation, namely the construction of a shed to shelter vehicles purchased by the corporation and the acquisition of a barge for the transportation of cargo and passengers between the North Island and the South Island of Agalega. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is noteworthy that one of the main responsibilities of the Outer Islands Development Corporation is to provide decent accommodation to the inhabitants of Agalega, as well as to the personnel of ministries and departments on the tour of service in Agalega, while facilitating access to services such as health, education, water, electricity, and telephony and internet services. In this context, following a request made by the Outer Islands Development Corporation, the National Housing Development Company Limited is proposing to construct 50 housing units at Agalega. The tender for works has been launched through the Central Procurement Board, and the closing date is on the 7th of November 2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, in regard to Part A of this question, I am informed that after completion of the airstrip and jetty projects, as per the agreement signed between the Government of India and the Government of Mauritius, all facilities will be vested in the Government of the Republic of Mauritius. A committee has been set up under the chair of a senior advisor of my office to coordinate the operationalization of the facilities and to evaluate and work out the cost related to maintenance, operation, and functioning of these facilities. The committee also comprises the Permanent Secretary, Prime Minister's Office, Cabinet Office, the Permanent Secretary, Prime Minister's Office, External Communications Division, the Permanent Secretary, Prime Minister's Office, Rodrigues, Outer Islands and Territorial Integrity Division, the Director of Civil Aviation, Department of Civil Aviation, the Chairperson and the General Manager, Outer Islands Development Corporation, the Resident Manager of Agalega, the Technical Experts and Project Monitoring Team, the Acting Director General, Mauritius Ports Authority, the Acting Port Master, Mauritius Ports Authority, the Commander, National Coast Guard, the Assistant Superintendent of Police of the Police Department, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of National Infrastructure and Community Development, National Infrastructure Division, the Deputy Director, Ministry of National Infrastructure and Community Development, the Energy Services Division. The committee is pursuing its work regarding cost estimates. Mr. Speaker, sir, in regard to Part B of the question, except for scarcity areas necessitating foreign expertise or unavailability of adequately qualified local human resource, the facilities will be manned by Mauritian personnel and will be under the overall control of Mauritian authorities. The committee I mentioned earlier is also looking into the human resource aspect. Moreover, some inhabitants of Agalega who have been provided basic training will be further upskilled and their services will be enlisted as and when required in the operation of the facilities. Mr. Speaker, sir, in regard to part C of the question, I am informed that a trial landing exercise was carried out on 1st of March 2023 by the dossier aircraft. The Commissioner of Police reported that the landing exercise was successful. Moreover, the Department of Civil Aviation carried out a survey of the new runway and its associated facilities on 27th of June 2023. Following the survey, the Department of Civil Aviation made certain recommendations with regard to operations of commercial flights, which are being looked into by the above-mentioned committee. These inter alia include qualified personnel, aerodrome emergency plan, licensing, and other regulatory requirements of the Republic of Mauritius. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am informed that once all the requirements have been met, the Director of Civil Aviation will promulgate the runway in accordance with the International Civil Aviation Organization standards. It is only then that commercial flights will be, in fact, can be scheduled. Mr. Speaker, sir, the development of all our outer islands forms part of my vision to propel the whole of our territory towards sustained, meaningful, and inclusive socio-economic advancement. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, Sir, gouverner, c'est prévoir. And the facilities in Agalega will be fully completed and presumably operational in several weeks' time. I'd like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister whether this investment of about 14 billion rupees totally financed by the Republic of India, whether this facility will be, the cost will be borne by the Mauritius taxpayer, or is it by the Indian taxpayer? In particular, it can easily be calculated that the running cost of this facility will be in excess of 1 billion rupees per annum.
Well, first of all, till now we cannot say exactly what has been the cost of building those facilities. We are not yet completed, so in time to come, of course, I will be able to communicate the exact figure. But I can, I just remind the Honourable Leader of the Opposition that in the past PNQ that he himself has put to me, I had at that time already indicated an amount which those two projects would have cost. Anyway, no, it was less than that. But anyway, we will come to a figure once all those projects are fully completed. Now, with regard to building those infrastructure, I have said that India is financing the total cost of those two infrastructures. With regard to manning and operationalizing these infrastructures, I have said that there is a committee that is already working on the human resources requirements in order to be able to have the operation of both the airstrip and the jetty. Now, there are some of our technical people who eventually will be posted there, but there are certain technical people where probably we will not have the required expertise here. So India, of course, stands ready to provide us with those personnel that are required, and those personnel, of course, will be paid by the Indian government. In regard to our personnel, of course, they will be met by salaries under a budget item from this government. But this, as again I say, it's still being worked out, and eventually, once those two infrastructural projects are fully completed and become operational, then we will know exactly how many personnel are posted there.
According to the Prime Minister himself, the inauguration will be in a few weeks' time. So we're not talking about years. And is he seriously telling us that the government has no idea, no estimate of the cost of running that facility, either to the Indian government or to the Mauritian government, or as to the number of personnel that are going to be there? You've said yourself 162 dormitory rooms, whatever, and villas, etc., there for the personnel. You do not know at all who is going to man this as from in a few weeks' time.
Well, Mr. Speaker, sir, we have an estimate. But look, I have to be serious when I give a figure to this House. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition wants me to give a figure of the cost for maintenance, for operational matters. Well, once we have a final figure, I will definitely provide it to the House. As far as maintenance of the infrastructure are concerned, maybe let me add that these maintenance costs will be borne by Government of India. But at this stage, I am not able to provide the exact figure with regard to how much we are going to spend for operating those two infrastructures. So, yes, we are looking towards inaugurating those infrastructures at latest, I hope, at latest by the end of December. Now, I say I hope because, you know, there have been, this project, there have been delays, number of delays for different reasons. Now, we are nearing now completion. And I hope if those are fully completed, we will hold the inauguration. But then, of course, in a few weeks' time, I will be able to give you the exact figure.
I did ask for the estimated. I never asked for the exact cost. Now, it's a wonder that the Minister of Finance can even do a budget every year, if that would be the principle of how government works. I'd like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister, the Hindustan Times, very respected newspaper, has announced, has published recently an article saying that there are going to be, I think, 50 military officers from Republic of India who are coming to operate this facility. Is the Prime Minister telling us that the Hindustan Times is more au fait about what's happening in Agalega than himself?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I do not rely on newspapers reporting. I have not brought all of those reporting from the media with me. I have some. All sorts of things have been said. You know, maybe there are so many that probably, I don't know if I can find, you know, some have claimed even that they are from the official source of government, which is totally false. Let me cite one which has been mentioned by our local media, and you know, some people have taken it very seriously. Even I was, you know, I wanted to find out more about what is called the Indian Defense Research Wing. Well, when you hear that, you are taken aback, eh? Indian Research Defense Wing, saying all sorts of things that we are going to accommodate frigates, destroyers, fighter jets, all sorts of things have been mentioned. And when I looked at this site, what it says, the idea behind this blog was to bring all coverage from mainstream media to a one-stop destination which lead to the creation of IDRW.org. Can you imagine not trying to find out reliable information, just basing on what any Tom, Dick and Harry has been publicizing and just bringing them all together. Now, I didn't rely only on this, what he says about this organization or whatever it is. I took the pain to ask the government of India and I was informed, I have been communicated that this Indian Defense Research Wing is not an official source, it's just, if I can say, it's just blah, blah, blah. So, like that, there are so many blah, blah, blahs that have been reported in the press. But I don't rely on those. I have systematically been saying to this House, upon being questioned by the opposition, about the agreement that we have with India, and I have been providing as much information that I could to the House.
The question was never about the Indian Research Wing. It is about the respected Hindustan Times, and a very specific question. Nobody is saying good or bad. We're just trying to confirm whether there are 50 military officers from the Republican India about to go and operate the facility there, because you don't seem to be prepared with the Mauritian people to do so. And also, I would like to ask these military officers, are they going to be under the command and control of our Commissioner of Police? And will they require work and residence permits to go there? In which case, he will surely be aware of what is happening there.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have never said that I'm not aware. I have said in my reply that the committee is already looking into the issue of the human resources. And I have said, probably the Honorable Leader of the Opposition has not heard me, I have said where we have the required personnel who are qualified, they are going to be posted and they are going to support the infrastructure there. But where there is a lack of qualified personnel, we have an agreement with India that they are going to provide us with those human resources. This is what I said. And in a few weeks' time, I will be able to inform the House about the exact number of people who are posted and, of course, of their qualification, their technical background. But again, those personnel are going to be deputed from India to be able to operate those infrastructure. And therefore, I am not, again I say, Hindustan Times. Well, they can, I'm not casting any judgment on what Hindustan Times is, but they can report anything. Doesn't mean to say that what they report is exact or is correct. What is important to me is what the government of India says. Now that is, I take it seriously. But I don't rely on so many of the articles which have been published so often in order to try, in fact they are trying to do what? They are trying to discredit this relationship that we have between Mauritius and government of India. In fact, we should be thankful to government of India for all the support, all the help that they are giving to us. Let me remind the Honorable Leader of the Opposition. He was himself part of a government from 2005 to 2014. Can you imagine this runway has been damaged and flights could not be operated properly to transport passengers? Only emergency flights could be operated from 2005 to 2014 when the Labour PMSD were in government. Only emergency flights, and that also with the risk that something could have happened. Fortunately, I'm happy that so far nothing has happened, no accident. But we can't risk people's lives just like that, you know. And when we are building such kind of infrastructure, I think we should have been applauded for what is being done. Never before, how many times I have been in government with you also together, where we have been trying to upgrade this runway, upgrade the jetty. If you can, people do not realize when the ship comes to Agalega, it has to anchor at a distance. There must be a barge that will transport passengers from the ship to mainland. And barge has to carry all the cargo also. No, I'm saying what it used to be, what it still be now. But in a few, let's say in a few weeks' time, right? This is going to change. We are going to, and this is why I say, Monsieur le Président, ça c'est du concret. C'est ça qu'on est en train d'améliorer, la qualité de vie des gens. Time will tell, because on a eu un procès d'intention, surtout, non seulement des médias, de la part de l'opposition, mais time will tell, and we will see.
I'm happy that the Prime Minister used the term runway, not airstrip, because this runway is 3 kilometers long, longer by 1 kilometer for the new, even compared to the new runway in Rodrigue. So we have to get things right. And we would love, let me inform the Prime Minister, we would love to applaud what India has done, but we don't have any access to any of the agreements that you have signed, so we are unable to applaud one way or another. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to confirm, will these foreign military personnel be under the command and control of our Commissioner of Police, and will each of them require a work and residence permit to work on Agalean soil?
Well, first of all, Mr. Speaker, sir, yes, we are building a runway of that size. Do you think to carry out effectively maritime surveillance, you think you can use a dossier to carry out maritime surveillance? You think you can use an ATR 72 to carry out maritime surveillance? Do you think you can use a commercial flight like the Boeing, like the Airbus to carry out maritime surveillance? You need specialized aircraft, well equipped, to be able to carry out maritime surveillance. So, I don't know what kind of world you are living in, you know? But anyway, the agreement, let me move, I don't spend too much time on one or the other. You talked about the agreement, it's confidential. I said there is a confidential clause in this agreement, and I have said repeatedly that both parties must agree to make it public. And India is not agreeable to make it public. And in fact, let me correct one thing which you have said in your last PNQ on this matter. You said that the Minister of Foreign Affairs had publicly stated that India has no objection to make it public. Afterwards I've inquired, this is not correct, this is not true. India, Minister Jai Shankar has told me that they are not agreeable to make it public. So it's good that I'm able to correct this. Now, you're talking about under whose responsibility or who is going to have control. I have said in my reply that the Mauritian authorities will have the responsibility of both the airstrip and the jetty. I can't be more clear than that.
Trying to ask the Prime Minister a simple question, whether there will be these foreign military officers to operate these military aircraft, okay. Whether they will be under command and control of our Commissioner of Police, what is difficult to answer that question? Is it confidential? I have not replied. I want to know whether you will be giving them work and residence permits. I'm not asking something which is impossible for you to answer, surely.
Mr. Speaker, sir, if this opposition does not understand the meaning of Mauritian authorities, I believe that the people at large will understand what I mean by Mauritian authorities.
Time over.
Pour cette private notice question, nous finissons quelques éléments d'information assez intéressants concernant le dossier Agalega. Bon, d'abord, il faut connaître que les deux infrastructures principales au l'île, c'est-à-dire la piste d'atterrissage et la jetée, pour être prêt d'ici la fin de cette année-là. Le Premier ministre India, at the latest, at the end of this year, pour inaugurer cette facilité-là, cette infrastructure-là. Alors, Xavier Duval me pose la question, est-ce que ça peut coûter 14 milliards de roupies. Et est-ce que c'est le gouvernement l'Inde qui peut financer ça entièrement? Pravin Jagannath répond que c'est un investissement du gouvernement indien, mais il n'est pas capable de confirmer le chiffre de 14 milliards de roupies. Il dit qu'il y a une estimation, mais il n'est pas les aventuriers à ce stade pour donner le chiffre exact et il promet à la Chambre qu'il peut donner ce chiffre-là dans quelques semaines. Xavier-Luc Duval, envie de connaître qui peut faire la piste d'atterrissage. Et là, il y a un mot qui est important. Runway et airstrip. Alors, on peut cause de runway, on peut cause une vraie la piste d'atterrissage. Et Pravin Jagannath confirmé qu'il peut construire un runway de 3 km. 1 km plus que la piste d'atterrissage à Rodrigue. Xavier-Luc Duval, peut envie connaître, donc, qui fait apparence une longue la piste d'atterrissage. Et là, Pravin Jagannath répond, il dit qu'il pour faire la surveillance maritime, pas pour capable faire par un avion comme un douanier ATR-72, ni ben vol commercial de Boeing. Pravin Jagannath dit qu'il ben specialized aircraft, ben avion qui bien équipé, qui peut atterrir à Agalega pour faire la surveillance maritime. Xavier Duval a envie d'un plus de renseignements, mais Pravin Jagannath brandit encore une fois la clause de confidentialité de l'accord qui finit signé entre Maurice et Glenn. Et Pravin Jagannath dit à Zodi qu'il n'est pas d'accord qui rend public sa clause de confidentialité là, et il dit que le ministre des Affaires étrangères indien, M. Jay Shankar, personnellement finit ça, qu'il n'est pas d'accord pour rendre public donc une clause qui confidentielle. Et Pravin Jagannath il peut vendre le projet. Il dit en 2005 et 2014, tu as la piste d'atterrissage qui est endommagée, tu peux opérer ben emergency flights avec ben risque qui s'est comporté. Et il peut dire qui au contraire bien applaudit ce gouvernement qui peut faire un tel projet. Maintenant, avec Duval, référez à l'article de Hindustan Times, le journal très respecté de l'Inde, qui a annoncé que 50 officiers militaires de l'Inde poilent à Agalega pour gérer sa belle infrastructure là. Pravin Jagannath n'a pas confirmé le chiffre de 50, mais il dit dans sa réponse qu'il pour un officier de Maurice, mais aussi un officier de l'Inde qui peut être affecté là-bas. Xavier Duval, il connaît si ça va un officier là, je peux sous commande de nos commissaires de police, ou bien je peux prendre l'autre avec les autorités indiennes. Pravin Jagannath dit que la jetée, la piste d'atterrissage, peut être gérée par les autorités mauriciennes. Donc, le Premier ministre fin aussi dire que le 1er mars, cette année-là, tu fais ce qu'on appelle un trial landing. Quand l'avion douanier, tu atterris, là, ça a nouveau la piste d'atterrissage à Agalega, et il dit que cet atterrissage, tu réussit. Donc, pas de problème.
C'est le commissaire de police qui l'informe lui.
Ouais.
Qui
et
tu
as une survey qui s'est fait en juin 2023, le 27 juin. Et là, le département de l'aviation civile fait une recommandation. Sa survey-là, une fait pour être si un avion commercial capable d'atterrir à Agalega. Le département de l'aviation civile fait une recommandation, un comité peut travailler là. Et parmi mes recommandations, je dis qu'il y a un staff, un personnel qui est qualifié, et bien un plan en ce qui s'agit de l'aérodrome. Donc tout ça là, bien mettre en place. Il faudrait qu'il respecte cette recommandation là, et il faudrait que tout ça fait aux normes internationales de l'aviation civile internationale pour qu'il, à ce moment, un vol commercial capable donc opérationnel. Donc, ce qui est bizarre à comprendre, c'est que donc, la piste d'atterrissage est la jetée pour près d'ici la fin de cette année-là et pour une inauguration. Et ça, c'est un projet qui finit entièrement financé par le gouvernement de l'Inde. Et Pravin Jagnat annoncé aujourd'hui qu'il y a un avion spécialisé, un specialized aircraft qui est bien équipé pour atterrir à Agalega pour faire la surveillance maritime. Et il n'est pas deny qu'il pourrait y avoir un officier militaire de l'Inde, tel qu'annoncé par le Hindustan Times, il dit pour un staff mauricien et indien qui pour travailler l'eau sa infrastructure. Là, voilà l'information principale qui ressortie depuis sa PNQ là.
Oui, le Premier ministre il place donc le développement à Agalega lors deux fronts. D'abord, une question d'assurer la sécurité maritime, la surveillance de notre zone économique territoriale de 2,3 millions de kilomètres carrés. Alors là, il peut reconnaître que Maurice nous a l'expertise, nous pas organisé, nous a assez et moyens pour nous capables d'assurer la sécurité. Et concernant la sécurité, il donne une série de questions qui concernent, y compris par exemple contre le terrorisme, la sécurité, le développement économique, emergency response en cas d'urgence, par exemple à Agalega. Alors donc tout ça fait partie de sa question de donc amélioration des infrastructures pour la surveillance. Ensuite, l'autre aspect, c'est le standard of living. Là, il peut mettre l'accent qui, c'est le niveau de vie de ban agaléen qui pour besoin donc et peut favoriser par ce développement-là et il peut générer beaucoup d'activités économiques dans l'île. Donc, il a les reconnaître, les remercier l'assistance précieuse, l'aide qu'il peut donner au gouvernement mauricien. Alors, fin bien explique le airstrip et le jetty. Ça, c'est une question concernant l'aviation et l'autre concernant un bateau qui pour ancrer et dans le port qui fin améliorer et la construction un jetty. Aussi, dans sa cadre d'amélioration et du niveau de vie, il annonce 6 projets de développement dans la région pour un montant de 169 millions de roupies, donc entièrement financé par l'Inde. Et là, il cause une bibliothèque, un IT et développement de l'infrastructure, surtout technologique, un large shop, donc pour une grande boutique qui pour créer, pour un kiosque et un bureau administratif et surtout pour aménager sur le fish landing et quarters, c'est-à-dire la côte pour un bateau, surtout un bateau de pêche pour venir. Et ça lui concerne sa développement à l'intérieur d'Agalega. Et il cause également Outer Island sous contribution. Il y a deux autres projets pour un shelter vehicle. Et donc, ça, c'est Outer Island. Mais à aucun moment, et donc, Pravin Jagnat pas mentionné une base militaire, mais seulement nous gagnons beaucoup d'informations aujourd'hui concernant ça. Et non pas cause l'occupation, mais surtout la gestion d'Agalega par le gouvernement mauricien. Et sa clause de confidentialité là, c'est l'Inde donc qui peut dicter nous le terme, c'est-à-dire pas capable de révéler cette question qui est dedans et qui a une utilisation pour faire, mais Xavier Duval, il mentionne le Hindustan Times, et là, le Premier ministre peut dire, il n'est pas basé, l'article de presse, pour lui, et la Gazette publier beaucoup d'affaires, et il qualifier ça de blabla.
Alors là, Jagdish, donc ça c'est le compte rendu. Il y a deux questions cruciales qui restent posées maintenant. Deux questions. D'abord, qui fait l'Inde peut investir autant de milliards de roupies dans une infrastructure à Agalega, et tout ça peut être géré par la partie mauricienne, comme un premier ministre. Première question, qui fait l'Inde peut investir autant de milliards de roupies. Deuxième question, qui fait l'Inde pas d'accord, qui rend public clause de confidentialité.
Ouais. Qui concerne
des questions très importantes, ça, Jagdish.
Très important.
Qui fait l'Inde peut investir autant de milliards.
Ouais. Mais pour y a déjà un avion qui peut aller, un avion beaucoup plus moderne, plus sophistiqué, pas de mention d'avion militaire, mais les sous-entendus à partir d'un article, d'une information qui peut circuler. Maintenant, l'Inde assure la surveillance de la région. Alors, quand la Chine de l'autre côté peut faire une entrée une nouvelle fois aux Maldives, alors là, les concerne géopolitique, c'est l'Inde qui peut rouler au moins l'influence beaucoup plus rapprochée avec Maurice, qui a sa relation étroite là, et Agalega pour servir comme un point de ralliement, un point de ravitaillement, et donc nous pas cause base pour le moment, mais au
Mais
niveau
Jagdish,
du gouvernement mauricien,
la piste d'atterrissage de 3 km. Les prémices confirmées aujourd'hui. Un specialized aircraft
oui, c'est bon
hautement
bateau.
équipé pour atterrir dans la piste atterrissage à Agalega. Mais je ne pas croire ou bien il y a un degré dans science politique pour le comprendre qui est capable de passer à l'avenir, qui fait prévoir cette infrastructure de 3 km que, selon le premier semaine, specialized, highly equipped aircraft pour capable atterrir. Vous pensez, il y a certaines conclusions qui nous capables de tirer là.
et dans certaines conclusions, l'Inde a une présence militaire dans la région avec Agalega au cas où ça va avion là pour aller faire le va-et-vient. Et Xavier Duval, il pose question, est-ce que ça va militaire qui Hindustan Times peut mentionner là, je pousse sous contrôle du commissaire de police et je peux gagner un PMI de travail du gouvernement mauricien, à aucun moment. Donc, Pravin Jagnat donne beaucoup de précisions, cause les autorités mauriciennes, c'est-à-dire donc tout ça là pour contrôler, et l'in faire état d'un grand comité de plusieurs hauts fonctionnaires qui peut siéger pour guetter comment pour gérer l'île d'Agalega. Mais et dernière fois, dans PNQ, Xavier Duval, Premier ministre, il mentionne 8,8 milliards de roupies. Et dans sa phase de 2022, et aujourd'hui en 2023, Xavier Duval mentionne 14 milliards de roupies. Alors, possiblement, donc, un gros investissement qui peut continuer, surtout l'Inde, et a grand intérêt pour financer ce projet-là.
Ouais, et sinon, Covid-19 derrière nous, mais on trouvait au sein de l'hémicycle, il peut toujours maintenir le social distancing. Et Xavier Duval, fin même, demande le speaker pas capable de répondre. Demande, est-ce qu'il m'a besoin de mettre mon masque ou bien je capable pas mettre. Est-ce qu'il est optionnel, il est obligatoire? Il explique quand même pas qu'on est qui peut répondre, il dit après mon revient vers où. Donc tout ça paraît un peu ridicule maintenant, Jagdish.
Oui, parce que partout, il y a quelques parlementaires qui peuvent porter le masque, mais aujourd'hui, besoin d'une décision, peut-être au niveau de la santé. Puis, il y en a beaucoup de réserves en cours parce que, c'est-à-dire la crise sanitaire, elle est derrière nous, mais seulement un risque qui est là, alors fin Leslie optionnel, mais au niveau du Parlement, au niveau de tout un bureau, partout l'inéliminé.
Tout un bureau dans le secteur public, dans le secteur privé, n'est plié dans le social distancing.
N'est plié
n'est plié pour de masse. Oui. Sauf si un monde est malade, il porte son masque pour protéger les autres. Oui. Mais ça va un social distancing, ça n'est plus appliqué. Et dans nous Parlement, peut toujours maintenir ça. Et nous besoin aussi le sitting arrangement parce qu'il y a un backbenchers qui viennent PPS. Alors est-ce qu'ils ont une récente place ou bien parce que là c'est un social distancing. Il y a une place limitée.
Limitée.
Il est probable qu'ils auraient 100 places en termes de sitting arrangement.
L'espace est allongé. Alors plus ou moins nous pensons encore dans la même situation. Le speaker pas capable à ce stade de faire un nouveau aménagement parce que d'ailleurs avec la crise sanitaire, avec Covid, donc une partie de la galerie du public fin éliminée.
Voilà, et sinon, Liban connaît que Kavi Dulab fin est élu député chairperson of committees. On connaît que Vikash Nakchedi, qui peut occuper sa poste là, il est promu PPS, secrétaire parlementaire privé. Peut-être rapidement, Jagdish, bon, explique-nous à nos auditeurs, c'est quoi le poste de député chairperson of committees qui diffère? Qui sont responsabilités?
Alors, au Parlement, nous avons d'abord le leader of the House, c'est le Premier ministre. Ensuite, la majorité gouvernementale, où il y a le Conseil des ministres, le cabinet, où il y a un PPS, qui ne pas poser question, ne pas faire également un ministre là pour répondre. PPS est un statut, pas nécessairement, je te pose question, et les autres députés. Ensuite, quand un budget présenté, alors, le budget, il est présenté par le ministre des Finances. Il y a ça c'est première lecture, deuxième lecture, troisième lecture. Ensuite, il y a un comité du Parlement qui siège pour examiner différents items. Et là, c'est le Deputy Chairman of Committees qui vient, il prend la place du Speaker, donc il siège, il dirige la Chambre, et député, du gouvernement et de l'opposition. Je te fais donc des commentaires, je te soulève des questions concernant le budget, concernant dépenses qu'il peut faire et également l'institution. Voilà le rôle, donc, c'est-à-dire il y a un upgrading pour un parlementaire, donc quand il siège, parce qu'il là où on a le speaker, le deputy speaker et le deputy chairman of committees.
Voilà, donc autant pour cette... oui.
Et nous rappelle qu'il y a toute bonne question qui est adressée à Mme Kalpana Kunjusha,
Finit
qui vient d'être retirée par l'opposition parce que ce papa, Prem Kunju, il est décédé. D'ailleurs, le Parlement, il rend hommage ce matin également Reza Isaac, ancien député et donc de pour lui.
Ouais, mais Mme Kunjusha, tu es présent, il y a au centre
Hier,
pour célébrer la victoire de Parlement.
Oui, avec une photo qu'ils nous ont trouvée, il était plus ou moins très, très enthousiaste après ce jugement-là, ensemble avec un activiste du MSM.
Voilà, autant pour cette édition spéciale consacrée aux travaux parlementaires. Venir le journal complet à 13h avec Dushila Mansingh. Merci à nos auditeurs et internautes qui finissent suivre nous. À bientôt.